Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, the premier hockey podcast. Your favorite team in the Bay Area, and the Sharks have made a trade, trading away defenseman Ryan Merkley and forward Matt Nieto to the Colorado Avalanche. We're going to look at the trade, kind of nice little 5-10 minute podcast, see what the Sharks got back, and more. I'll say it's a quick episode of Locked on Sharks.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin for now. It's San Jose Hockey Now. Thank you for jumping on, listening to this little kind of mini podcast as we kind of break down this trade and what has happened. So the Sharks acquired Jacob MacDonald and Martin Kaut from the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for Matt Nieto and Ryan Merkley. We'll start with the Sharks in a way. We knew Matt Nieto was going to be gone. Of course, he was a UFA. He's played for Colorado before. If you remember way back in the day, the Avs claimed him off of waivers. Played for the Avs. They know exactly what they're getting. Penalty killer, skill, who can add a little bit of skill here type of thing. I mean, I guess there goes RIP Matt Nieto, origins unknown bit. Mike Grier single-handedly killing off all of my favorite bits, but they also sent off Ryan Merkley, which we knew this was coming, right? Ryan Merkley had asked for a trade, and then GM Mike Grier was more than happy to kind of facilitate this trade, knowing that it was just time to move on. And we talked about when this kind of came up, potentially trading for another kind of first-round pick that hasn't lived up to expectation. That's exactly what the Sharks did here in acquiring MacDonald and Martin Kaut. Kaut was a former first-round pick of the same draft of Ryan Merkley. He was part of the 2018 number 16 pick by the Colorado Avalanche. So he's 23-year-old, right-handed forward, 6'2", 190 pounds. So kind of that, hey, let's swap our kind of problem children and see what happens type of situation. So, he's been playing with the Avalanche and the Colorado Eagles. He is currently on the Colorado Eagles right now, their AHL team. I would assume he will report to the San Jose Barracuda right now. We will see what they want to do with that, but I would assume, especially since he's already kind of cleared waivers, I'd assume he would go to the Barracuda as they try to kind of fortify that team and make them ready for a run. And then when you start to kind of pull more pieces, your Nick Beninos, et cetera, he can kind of come up and play at the end of the season, and then you can kind of figure it out. But this season with the Avalanche, he played 27 games, had 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. For the Eagles, in 10 games, he scored 5 goals, 3 assists, and 8 points for the Colorado Eagles. Last year, in a bigger sample size for the Eagles, 46 games, had 19 goals, 12 assists, 31 points. So 31 points in 46 games in AHL is nothing to sneeze at right there. So, so this is just kind of another one of those guys who can kind of, maybe a change of scenery. You hope an Alexander Barabanov type of situation can kind of come in and maybe find a new home here. And again, going to add some size to the Barracuda. We know how the Sharks have drafted, relatively smaller guys. So add some size to that. Jacob MacDonald, defenseman that they also acquired, more of a journeyman, right? 29 years old. He's played for Florida and Colorado. He's played 76 NHL games. He's a defenseman who can also play the forward position, but more of a defenseman. Kind of if you need him to jump up, he can do that as well. He was a AHL All-Star in 2018, so an AHL second team All-Star in 2020 as well. So good to see from him. But again, I think for the Barracuda trying to, I think both these moves are more Barracuda level, trying to solidify this Barracuda team to try to kind of let these young guys go out there and make the playoffs and go play playoff hockey, and having some guys who can help you do that type of thing. Almost, like a Derek Pouliot type of situation with Jacob MacDonald. So that's kind of where I'm seeing with these. So grading the trade, we'll go a B. I think getting a guy like Kaut who can potentially add again, you're taking a swing, right? Just like the Avalanche are going to be taking a swing on Ryan Merkley. He was a first round pick for a reason. It's not like, this guy wasn't talented at some point. So you're hoping maybe to change the scenery. And too, especially with Colorado, with the very stacked forward group that they have. I know they've been dealing with a lot of injuries this year, but he's probably not going to kind of crack those or get meaningful NHL minutes. I think he's going to be able to do that with the Sharks. Hopefully it's another kind of Alexander Barabanov situation. And he's also going to be cost controlled for the next couple of years. So this is the last year of his ELC, just like Ryan Merkley, last year of his ELC. So he's going to be an RFA. You're going to be able to kind of cost control him. So overall, I'd give it a B, I guess. I'd like to have gotten a pick back because I think picks are just kind of more fun and sexy. But for the most part, though, I think you can't complain with getting something for Matt Nieto and getting Ryan Merkley, whose trade value was at an all-time low because he had asked for a trade and he hadn't done anything on either the AHL or the NHL level, and he hadn't played a game in a couple of weeks here. So take a swing, see what happens. If anything, this is going to make your Barracuda team more competitive, and I think right now that's kind of the goal for Mike Grier and for the Sharks organization, is to make this Barracuda team a bit more competitive and get them ready to play meaningful hockey going down the stretch here into the spring, and see what happens if you can kind of play a couple rounds of playoff hockey with this team. So interesting trade. I was actually setting up, so we'll actually have a full episode coming out here in a little bit. I'm getting ready to record. Make sure you guys are following along Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for Locked On Sharks, so you guys know whenever stuff like this happens. And then you can follow my personal Twitter account at MyFryhole. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and of course watch on YouTube as well. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Till then, bye, friends.